the distinguished gentleman from California, among many of our members on this committee. We yield to you, Mr. Lieu, for 5 minutes. You're now recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Chairwoman Sheila Jackson-Lee, for holding this important oversight hearing. Thank you, Director Carvajal, for your public service. Approximately how many COVID-19 vaccines did the Bureau of Prisons administer?
Congressman, we've administered to date over 292,000 doses to both staff and inmates. 80% of our staff, give or take, 80% are vaccinated, and about 70% of our inmate population. It's a moving target because there's always people coming in and out. Every single person is offered the opportunity to be vaccinated.
Did anyone die as a result of getting the COVID-19 vaccine?
Congressman, I do not know that. I would have to get you information from our medical doctor. I don't have that information in front of me.
Sir, you would have been told if someone died after getting COVID-19 vaccine, wouldn't you have?
I'm sure I would have, Congressman. I just don't have that information in front of me.
Yeah, so once you get back to us, but I'm going to tell you, you would have been told if that in fact happened. Now, did you see that the CDC recently came out saying that if you get a COVID-19 vaccine and a booster shot, you are 97 times less likely to die than if you're unvaccinated from COVID? Are you aware of that?
Yes, Congressman.
Okay. So I want to agree with the former president who said that COVID-19 vaccines are one of the greatest achievements of mankind. And I want to talk about the religious exemptions. I happen to be Catholic. The Pope, who is also called the Vicar of Christ, has said that getting a COVID-19 vaccine is a moral obligation. What I want to know is, were the Bureau of Prisons giving any religious exemptions to folks who were Catholic? And if so, what possible basis could that be on?
Congressman, I don't personally review those exemptions. We have processes in place, and I'm certain that we can get you that information. We have actually ceased, because of the preliminary injunction, we've ceased process of religious and medical exemptions for the time being.
If you could get me the information, that would be great. And now, Chairwoman Jackson-Lee, I'd like to enter 2 articles for the record. The first is from Forbes magazine, June 19, 2020. It's titled, Bureau of Prisons Special Tactical Forces Under Scrutiny for Use in DC Protests and Training Mishaps. The second article is titled, The Story Behind Bill Barr's Unmarked Federal Agents from Politico, and it's dated June 5th, 2020. So Director Carvajal, I'd like to ask you, were Bureau of Prisons personnel used to crack down on protesters, and were they in fact unmarked?
Congressman, we did assist the Department of Justice and other law enforcement components during those protests initially, and I was asked this question during a press conference. Initially, within the first few days, our staff were not properly marked. In essence, for people on the civilian side to recognize them, they had local institution logos. We corrected that within a couple of days. We appropriately marked them to show they were Bureau of Prisons personnel. It was an oversight, and when it came to our attention, we appropriately marked them. They all now, when deployed, if deployed, they're appropriately marked to indicate they're operating under the Federal Bureau of Prisons, that they are federal officers.
So for any future occurrences, they will all be identified. Am I understanding that correctly?
We corrected the issue before the end of that, and we have deployed them since, and they are all appropriately identified as Federal Bureau of Prisons officers.
There are also allegations that there was excessive use of force, that some of them may have used tear gas and other actions that were not appropriate. So my question goes to training. These Bureau of Prison folks, they're trained to deal with prison issues. Do they also get training on dealing with crowds who are exercising the First Amendment right to free speech?
Yes, Congressman, I know that some of those things are under current review, so I don't think it'd be appropriate for me to comment on them. I can check back with my staff or the status of that, and we can answer your questions offline. I don't want to misspeak in this forum if that is still the matter's still under review.
Thank you. If you give me that information, it's important because I've introduced a bill with Congressman Earl Blumenauer that will prevent the Attorney General from randomly deputizing, actually the U.S. Marshals, randomly deputizing Bureau of Prison folks and then sending them out to cities to crack down on First Amendment free speech folks who are exercising that right. With that, I yield back.